What if this was the brightest your day ever got? For millions of people, living in near constant darkness isn't some spooky thought experiment, it's just home. We're not talking about haunted houses or creepy back alleys. We're talking about real towns and cities where, for months at a time, the sun is more of a rumor than a reality. These are communities plunged into shadow by towering mountains, relentless cloud cover, or the simple, unforgiving tilt of our planet. But here's where it gets fascinating. Life doesn't just grind to a halt. People in these places don't just survive, they build vibrant, thriving communities. They've found ingenious ways to make their own light, their own warmth, and their own definition of what a normal day looks like. Today, we're heading to 5 of the darkest places on Earth that people are proud to call home. From a valley that literally had to import its sunshine, to a city of thousands that lives almost entirely underground. This is a story about human adaptation, resilience, and our deep-seated need to find light in the darkness. Rjukan, Norway, the town that stole the sun. Our first stop is a town that got tired of waiting for the sun and decided to do something about it. Tucked away in a deep Norwegian valley, the town of Rjukan has a very specific problem. It's surrounded by mountains so steep that from September to March, the sun's rays simply can't reach the valley floor. For half the year, residents lived in a constant shadow, watching the sun mockingly light up the peaks high above them. The brighter the day, the darker it somehow felt in town. It was an issue the town's founder, Sam Ada, saw over a century ago. He even tossed around the idea of building giant mirrors on the mountain to bounce sunlight down into the valley. But back then, the technology just wasn't there. Instead, he built a cable car so workers could at least ride up the mountain for a dose of sunshine on their days off. 100 years later, an artist named Martin Anderson revived that mirror idea. And in 2013, it actually happened. 3 massive, computer-controlled mirrors, called the Solspiel, were installed nearly 1,500 feet up the mountainside. These heliostats track the sun's path, catching its rays and deflecting them down into the town square, creating a concentrated circle of light. It cost around 5 million Norwegian kroner, and at first, a lot of locals thought it was just a tourist gimmick. But that patch of sun changed the town. It became a gathering place, a spot for people to soak in some desperately needed light and warmth. One resident called it mentally warming. It wasn't just about escaping the physical darkness, but the heavy psychological weight of it, too. And in the process, Rjukan didn't just bring light to its town square. It put itself on the map, proving that sometimes, a little crazy ingenuity is all you need to fight back the dark. Tórshavn, Faroe Islands, the capital of clouds. Not all darkness is caused by mountains or the planet's tilt. Sometimes, it's just the weather. Welcome to Tórshavn, the capital of the Faroe Islands. This rugged, stunningly beautiful archipelago sits in the middle of the stormy North Atlantic, and its climate is, to put it mildly, relentless. Tórshavn is one of the cloudiest capitals on the planet. It gets a shockingly low amount of sunshine, hovering around 840 to 880 hours for the entire year. To give you some perspective, Yuma, Arizona, the world's sunniest city, gets over 4,000 hours. An average day in December in Tórshavn sees just 18 minutes of sun. This isn't the pitch black of a polar night. It's a persistent, gloomy twilight, a world of overcast skies and dim, moody light that shapes every single part of life here. But instead of fighting it with giant mirrors, the Faroese people have adapted by turning inward. The culture is one of incredible coziness and creativity. For a nation of only about 50,000 people, the islands have a shockingly vibrant arts and music scene. When the weather outside is bleak, life moves indoors, which fosters a powerful sense of community. Homes with traditional turf roofs don't just look cool, they provide excellent insulation, creating warm sanctuaries against the constant wind and rain. The landscape's moody light has become a muse for Faroese art, with painters famous for capturing the dramatic, ever-shifting northern skies. The lack of sun has bred a culture that creates its own color and light, whether it's in the brightly painted buildings that pop against the grey backdrop, the lively music festivals, or even the intricate glasswork that decorates underwater tunnels. In Tórshavn, thriving isn't about chasing the sun, it's about creating your own light from within. Utqiaġvik, Alaska. The long night. Now we venture into a darkness dictated by the basic mechanics of our planet. This is Utqiaġvik, Alaska, the northernmost town in the United States. If you have a fear of the dark, this might not be your ideal vacation spot. Located deep inside the Arctic Circle, Utqiaġvik experiences a phenomenon known as polar night. Because of the Earth's axial tilt, the sun sets here around mid-November and doesn't rise again for about 66 days. For more than 2 months, the town's 4,000+ residents live without seeing a single sunrise. But it's not total blackness. Around noon each day, the sky brightens into a civil twilight, where the sun is just below the horizon, casting a soft, blue-hued glow across the snowy landscape. This ethereal light, combined with the frequent, dancing curtains of the aurora borealis, creates a world that feels both surreal and dreamlike. Still, life is a challenge. The lack of sunlight can mess with the body's internal clock, leading to sleep problems and seasonal affective disorder. But the people of Utqiaġvik, many of whom are Inupiat with deep ancestral roots here, have adapted. Community is everything. People stick to structured routines to create a sense of normalcy, and light therapy lamps are a common tool to help reset the body's circadian rhythm. More than anything, tradition provides the light. The long night is a time for storytelling, for community feasts, and for strengthening family bonds. It's a period of rest and reflection. And when that first sliver of sun finally peaks above the horizon in late January, even for a few brief moments, the entire town celebrates. It's a powerful reminder of endurance, and the profound connection between a community and the cycles of our planet. It's hard to really wrap your head around the mental and physical fortitude it takes to thrive in a place where the sun just checks out for 2 months. It really makes you appreciate how much we take a simple sunrise for granted. And if you're finding this journey into the world's darkest corners as illuminating as we are, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's a small click that brings a whole lot of light to our channel. Kuba PD, Australia. The white man's hole. So far, we've seen darkness caused by mountains, clouds, and the Earth's tilt. But what if the darkness is a choice? What if, to escape a different kind of extreme, people decided to live without the sun? For that, we have to go to the scorching Australian Outback and the town of Kuba PD. From the surface, Kuba PD looks like a desolate, Martian landscape dotted with weird piles of dirt. In the summer, temperatures can soar past 50 degrees Celsius, or 122 degrees Fahrenheit. It gets so hot that birds have reportedly just fallen out of the sky. The name, Kuba PD, is thought to come from an Aboriginal term, Kupa Piti, which is often translated as white man in a hole, and that name is incredibly accurate. Because here, about 60% of the population lives underground. This is the opal capital of the world, and back in 1915, miners figured out that the best way to escape the brutal heat was to just move into the old, abandoned mines. What started as a gritty survival tactic has evolved into a comfortable way of life. These underground homes, or dugouts, are carved into the soft rock and sandstone, which act as a perfect natural insulator. The temperature stays at a pleasant 22 degrees Celsius, or 75 degrees Fahrenheit, all year round, no air conditioning needed. And these aren't damp, dark caves. Many are spacious and modern, with full kitchens, walk-in closets, and high-speed internet. The town has underground bars, bookstores, hotels, and even churches carved into the earth. Life in Kuba PD is a complete paradox. People choose darkness to escape the overwhelming light. They live in holes to build comfortable homes. It's a wild testament to human ingenuity, where the solution to an extreme environment wasn't to fight it with more technology, but to embrace a totally different way of living. Murmansk, Russia. The Arctic metropolis. We often think of these dark places as small, isolated outposts. But our last stop completely shatters that image. This is Murmansk, Russia, the largest city in the world north of the Arctic Circle. With around 300,000 people, this isn't a tiny village. It's a bustling port city that endures a polar night lasting for about 40 days every winter. From early December to mid-January, the sun does not rise in Murmansk. The city, a major hub for industry and shipping, has to keep functioning on a massive scale in near-perpetual twilight. Thanks to the warming influence of the North Atlantic Current and a fleet of powerful icebreakers, the port surprisingly remains ice-free and operational year-round. For the residents, life during the polar night is a period you just have to push through. The psychological toll is very real. The lack of sunlight, sometimes called light hunger, can disrupt sleep and lower mood by slowing the body's production of serotonin. To fight this, the city creates its own light. Buildings are painted in bright pastel colors, and dazzling holiday lights are strung up everywhere, creating a festive glow that holds back the darkness. The key to survival is staying active. Residents are encouraged to ski, meet with friends, or even join the Murmansk Walruses, a club of hardy souls who bathe in a hole cut into a frozen lake all winter. But the most important event is the First Sunrise Festival. When the polar night finally breaks, people gather on the hills to watch the sun make its brief, triumphant return. It's a powerful, collective moment of relief and celebration, proving that even in a huge industrial city, the return of the sun is still a deeply human and unifying experience. So there you have it. From giant suns stealing mirrors in Norway to underground homes in Australia, from the permanent grey skies of the Faroes to the long polar nights of Alaska and Russia. 5 vastly different places, all united by one profound challenge: living a life with very little light. What's so incredible is that in every one of these places, darkness never means emptiness. It sparks ingenuity, it strengthens community, and it completely reshapes culture. It forces people to adapt, to innovate, and to find their own sources of brightness. Whether it's through technology, tradition, or just the simple warmth of being together, these communities show us that home can be anywhere, and that human resilience can, and will, always find a way to shine. So, we have to ask, could you live in one of these places? Which one fascinated you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.